When people talk about Hunter x Hunter, one word tends to come up again and again. Subversive.
To subvert expectations,
subversion, subverts and subverted, subversive, subverting their expectations,
subversions.
It's a show that will consistently defy expectations. What starts as a familiar shounen tale quickly unravels into something far more complex, mature, and unpredictable. But that subversion can also be a double-edged sword, especially on a first watch. The erratic pacing, tonal shifts, and unconventional story beats can leave viewers unsure of where they are or where the show's going. That was my experience. The first time I watched Hunter x Hunter, I felt off balance, like the narrative ground was constantly shifting beneath me, like I never had truly settled into the story. But upon my rewatching of the show, that all changed. What once felt jarring now feels intentional and meaningful, and that discomfort was part of the point. In this video, we're going to explore why Hunter x Hunter is an even better show the second time you watch it. Hunter x Hunter sets you up to expect a standard shounen formula, a plucky protagonist in a vibrant world with a clear goal. But as the story progresses, those expectations are dismantled. Typically in shounen, arcs will follow a familiar rhythm. A new threat appears that requires our heroes to get stronger. We'll get a training arc and then a big battle will ensue. There's a steady, mostly satisfying escalation. But where other shonen will build upward, Hunter x Hunter instead branches outward. Main characters will get sidelined for somebody else's story. Arcs don't escalate so much as mutate. The stakes shift and our focus pivots. What we thought the story was about is suddenly no longer really relevant at all. This stays true throughout the entire show, with each arc bringing their own little twists. The show opens with us quickly meeting Gon, Killua, Kurapika, and Leorio. A classic shonen crew, each with their own reasons behind why they want to become hunters. We assume that by the end of the arc they'll pass the exam and begin their journey together. But as the arc closes, things have already gone sideways. Gon is brutally beaten. Killua is disqualified and returns to his family of assassins. The final exam ends not in a triumphant tournament, but with our team fracturing. Even after recovering Killua, instead of banding together for future adventures, the group immediately splits up, with Gon and Killua now off to Heaven's Arena to get some training and a little cash. We arrive at Heaven's Arena and it feels a lot more like classic shonen. We've got a tower with 250 floors and about 6 months to reach the top. But again, it subverts expectations. Gon and Killua breeze through the early floors, have a few notable fights post floor 200, and then the arc ends abruptly after Gon's rematch with Hisoka. An arc that promised so much instead ends in just 10 episodes. Instead of a desperate struggle to beat the Floor Masters, we are instead given a brisk crash course in Nen. This arc, in my opinion, is the biggest deviation in the entire show. Going into it, we are expecting our main four to all meet up and accomplish 2 goals: get a copy of Greed Island and help Kurapika find the Phantom Troop. Instead, the story pivots again. Kurapika takes center stage in a dark revenge plot against the Phantom Troop, whilst Gon and Killua are completely sidelined. The show's tone shifts dramatically. We see brutal deaths, moral dilemmas, and an ending that offers no real victory. Instead of the boys coming together to achieve their goals, Kurapika pretty much deals with the troops single-handedly, and Gon's quest to get into Greed Island gets pushed back to the start of the next arc. Then comes Greed Island. This arc is comparatively whimsical and light compared to York New, but quickly it becomes a focused training arc. Our understanding of Nen further deepens, showing strategy to be more important than brute strength. Gon's final battle with Genthru is the show's closest version of a standard shonen climax. But even with the big battle at the end, the whole arc feels like it's on fast forward. Gon and Killua emerge stronger, but the goal of finding Jing still looms. After using the company spell card to bump into Kite, we are launched into the Chimera Ant arc, with what begins as a side mission slowly spirals into a sprawling philosophical war. When we first see them, the ants seem like a threat, but nothing too substantial. But then they begin to evolve, gain nen, and quickly threaten entire nations. Morality begins to blur, Gon's worldview collapses, and Killua grapples with fear and loyalty. The arc progresses with our heroes showing themselves to act in monstrous ways. Meruem, the Ant King, becomes one of the more complex villains in anime. His story, which starts off tyrannical and potentially world-threatening, ends intimately and tragic. The arc's final conflict isn't Gon taking on Meruem, it's Gon losing against himself, with a transformation that's more horrifying than heroic. Then we move into the final arc of the anime, the election arc. In this arc, they focus on two things: Killua trying to save Gon, and the Hunters Association trying to find a new chairman. This feels like an intentional whiplash from the heaviness presented in the previous arc, with Leorio now being far more involved, and Killua off on his own dangerous quest of evading Illumi whilst bringing something to Gon, ultimately providing Killua with the opportunity to complete his character arc and giving Gon the chance to finally meet Jing. Then our show ends, not with a triumphant victory, but a somewhat bittersweet sending off of all our characters as they all go their separate ways. Suffice to say, Hunter x Hunter's arcs don't flow in a predictable pattern. Each one sets up expectations and then deliberately upends them. And that's exactly why I wanted to walk through them all, because it highlights just how erratic and layered the show's storytelling can be. It's a lot to take in the first time, but once you know where the show's going, watching it again is like seeing the blueprint beneath the chaos. The first time you watch the show, you'll tend to be focused on what's going to happen, where are we headed, who will we fight. The second time, you know the answers, and that lets you focus on the more important how and why. You notice the foreshadowing, the emotional build-ups and philosophical undercurrents. You see how much thought went into every character arc, every narrative pivot. I think that one of the best representations of my perspective shift is in regards to our main character. He starts off as a prototypical shounen protagonist, bright, optimistic, seemingly pure, but the death of Kite breaks something within him, ultimately making him more vengeful and sinister. But during my rewatch, I felt I was shown this side of him across the entire story. I just didn't notice it. Slowly, I saw the cracks. He's stubborn, impulsive, self-righteous, and when things don't necessarily go his way, he lashes out with a frightening intensity. This isn't to say that he isn't a good person, just that the Chimera Ant arc doesn't completely change Gon. It reveals him. A very dark part of him anyway. His descent isn't a twist, it's a culmination. It's this kind of emotional payoff Hunter x Hunter specializes in. Not clean or uplifting, but complex and deeply human. It's unsettling on the first watch, but on a rewatch, you see the intention behind it. The narrative mirrors life. It's messy, unpredictable, and full of compromise. So at the end, when Gon finally meets Jing at the top of the world tree, it may feel anticlimactic. There's no emotional explosion, no dramatic reunion, just a quiet conversation. But that's the point. Jing tells him about his own journey, how the most exciting part of being a hunter wasn't reaching any specific goal, but everything that happened along the way. The struggles, the discoveries, the unexpected paths, those were what mattered. He makes it clear that the destination is just a marker. The real reward is the detour, the challenge, the act of moving forward without knowing exactly where you're going. This isn't just parenting advice, it's the thesis of Hunter x Hunter. The arcs, the shifts, the seeming tangents, they're not digressions, they are the story. Like Jing, Gon didn't reach his goal in spite of those detours. He reached it because of them. And that's why rewatching the show is such a different experience. The first time you're impatiently waiting to see where it all leads, but the second time, you're present for the journey. You see the value in every step, in every arc, in every deviation. It's just like Jing said, you should enjoy the little detours to the fullest, because that's where you'll find the things more important than what you want. Hunter x Hunter isn't just subversive for subversion's sake. It's a meditation on growth, failure, purpose, and consequence. It surprises you the first time, but it teaches you the second. Because Hunter x Hunter is a show that transforms with your understanding. And that's why I think it's even better the second time you watch it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.